mascara.
Get out here, got my margarita. So delicious. Here's to date night.
So you might be asking how we got this great table right on the water. We actually got sat down kind of 2 tables in, and there's really no views on the inside. I said, hey, what about that table over there? It sat us on the best table on the water. It's just a good life lesson in life. And it's actually biblical. Ask and you shall receive. Anytime you can always ask for something, ask. There's no harm in asking for a pay raise, an opportunity. You know, no one's going to give you permission. You have to ask, otherwise, you know, nothing doesn't happen. People who are successful or people that have certain things, it's probably wanted it more. So, food for thought for the day.
A little spicy, creamy. It's like a Mexican pork chowder.
Gosh.
My girlfriends made me try it last time, and I was like, I don't know. I'll eat this if it's 120 degrees out.
So we got 2. Yeah. So you asked if they could split.
I asked if he could split it. I ordered 1 bowl split. He said, I don't know, I don't think you can do that. And I said, well, I was just here 3 weeks ago, and they split it. He's like, well, ask.
Bam.
Bam, come split. Here you go, another example.
Ask and you shall receive. There's no harm in asking for anything in life. Great.
Looks good, thanks.
We are wrapping up our date, and we figured we'd talk about marriage. We feel like we've got a pretty strong, healthy marriage.
Yeah, 8 years almost this September.
8 years, 3 kids. It's just the things we've learned along the years. We got a few comments from people interested in figuring out, you know, what advice would you might have, what have you done right, what have you done wrong, what would you do differently. So it's kind of fun to take some notes and figure out what has led us to a successful, happy, fulfilling marriage. One of the few things, in no particular order, was sharing our insecurities. I think early on we created an environment where we could share our insecurities. I mean, everybody has them, everybody feels them, and I think addressing them and talking about them created an opportunity for us to not be in situations or compromising situations where we would lose trust in each other, talk about certain areas, or without being really, really sensitive. And I think that's been really, really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, insecurities and also just kind of what makes us feel loved in particular. And we talked about that, like Travis said, from the get-go, from the time we were like newly dating through like our engagement and now into our marriage, and our insecurities have changed and have lessened in a lot of ways, but they're also still kind of there. And I think that's good because we work really hard daily. We don't take our marriage for granted, and we just realize that like marriage is hard work. And when you can be open and honest to talk about ways that you feel loved, but also ways that make our marriage feel threatened, even if it seems so minuscule and minor, like I think it's good to just have everything out on the table, and as uncomfortable as it might seem individually, it's helped us have a stronger, better marriage. So
Number 2 was being intentional. Obviously we've talked about it before, but being really intentional about ditching the kids, getting a babysitter, going on dates, going on walks, spending quality time together. We're very, I don't want to say ADD or very type A, but we definitely feel like we need to maximize every second time we have either together or spending with our family. The other thing that was really important that led to a great marriage that we have is early on we got involved in a couples Bible study. We had in our neighborhood a group of newlyweds, and we would talk about what we're learning, things we're struggling with at jobs and whatever, and we at 24 we got married, so we learned about how men and women are so different and how we think differently and we're emotionally differently, and you are a little bit learning a different language on how you share. We learned a lot through that couples Bible study about how to communicate with each other and how to fight, how to play fair, how to talk, because we thought we knew what we were doing, but we weren't.
No, come a very long way in the last 8 years. And as I've mentioned before, like, I'm so passionate about community and getting involved as moms, like in your mom's community, as couples in a couples community, as individuals, just having friends and support. I feel like we were created for that, and so we have just learned that to be so vital and true again in our marriage. So totally agree with you.
Yeah, and speaking of fighting, we used to, our first year of marriage was brutal because we were learning to live with each other. Hey, sweetie pie. How are you? Yeah, what's your name? Isabella.
Who's this?
This is a video we're filming about. Where do you live? You live in San Diego. So do we.
You're 5?
Wow. Oh, our first year of marriage, fighting. We used to, we used to fight. It was crazy, like, literally, we weren't throwing punches. We weren't throwing punches at each other, but man, it was aggressive. It was definitely, yeah, they always say there's a rule that one of your first 3 years of marriage is your toughest. This is our new friend we just met. We don't know her, but she's part of the video now. Say hi, Isabella. I wish our son was so open and interesting and friendly. But so anyways, our first year was rough, but we learned to play fair. What were some of the things? I call them deal breakers, but Ashton didn't like the word deal breakers.
No, more of like a non-negotiable. Like, this is just who we are and what we need, and we might not individually love that, but we've had to learn that that's just like part of our makeup, and so not a deal breaker. Deal breaker makes it seem like,
yeah,
we're about to get to, like, if you do this, then I'm out of here. Like, that's not.
Yeah. But, so the things that were non-negotiables that we learned earlier on was that I, as a guy, maybe my personality, I needed to exercise. I needed for me it was surfing, and I would surf, and that was the way I express myself and just feel like I'm, normal and I'm living. And Ash, yeah, it's just stress relief.
Yeah.
And Ash would give me like, oh my gosh, you could surf for hours, like, put our marriage first, and so one of her non-negotiables was, one-on-one dates and spending one-on-one time, and me planning and thinking ahead and being intentional about making sure that she felt like she was number one.
Right.
And
so for Travis, now for me to love him and respect our time is for me to allow him that space to surf. And it's funny because I don't really know a lot of other couples that have 3 kids whose husbands get to surf as often as he does. And I'm not saying that to like I'm this great wife, but I have really just come to embrace that that's like part of him. And there are times now I even say, like, you need to go surf and just get out, because that keeps him healthy and whole, not just physically but spiritually and mentally, and that's just who he is. And so I've come to embrace that. Maybe not 4 hours, but
yeah,
and he's learned his balance.
I don't surf 4 hours.
He knows his windows, and he takes them when it's appropriate. So, and then for me, vice versa. I mean, he does love going on dates and stuff, but he would rather go bowling, and I'd rather just sit down over a really good meal. And so he's learned that that's how I feel loved, and he's willing to drop some big money. My money maker over here. So those are just a couple examples of very small examples of just some small ways that we set aside our individual needs to serve each other and love each other.
It's definitely not rocket science. It's I always like that quote: keeping the main thing is keeping the main thing the main thing. Our pastor always talks about that, and the main thing is love and respect, and keeping love and respect the main thing in your life. If money or a job or kids or whatever that might be a distraction. Not a distraction, but maybe something that takes you off the most important thing, which is your marriage, then you know there's big impacts on that.
Yeah, agreed. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for following us on our date night. I hope that you can apply some of this to your marriage. And we're not experts.
I was just thinking that that girl Isabella.
She's really, hi. She was like leaning her head on my shoulder.
She's 5.
How cute.
Our son's 4, and he's mute.
Oh, anyways, you guys keep having fun in your marriage. Have a good date night this week. Talk to you later.